Fox 25 News at 6.
If someone comes back who has allied themselves with a terrorist group and we have the evidence to prove it, we're going to lock them up.
The director of the FBI talking terror in Boston today. The director addressing the problem of homegrown jihadis and the threat of domestic terror attacks like the marathon bombing. Bob Ward, you were part of a select group of reporters chosen to meet with that director today.
Yeah, that's right, Mark. The FBI director spoke at length about the growing concern of homegrown terror, people in our own backyard who become self-radicalized, and then some of them have traveled to the Middle East to fight. The director said the Bureau is watching that, and at the same time, watching the threat of terror right here at home.
I am not aware of credible evidence of an attack of any imminence on the United States.
Director James Comey with some good news on the war on terror as he visits the Boston FBI field office. But the FBI's top man says there is concern. The Bureau, he says, is closely watching Americans seeking to join the jihad, and the numbers are eye-opening.
We have tracked coming up on close to 150 people who have traveled from the United States to Syria for all manner of motivations, a significant number of them there to fight. We are most focused on those who we see aligning themselves with ISIL. There we see somewhere in excess of a dozen.
The Boston area is no stranger to the threat of homegrown extremism. In recent years, there have been a number of high-profile arrests and convictions. Director Comey, though, refused to answer my questions about Ahmad Abu Samra, a Stoughton man and now one of the world's most wanted terrorists, a man now suspected of producing the brutal execution videos Islamic State is producing. The director also refused to answer any questions related to the Boston Marathon bombings because of the upcoming terror trial of Johar Tsarnaev of Cambridge. But even with all that, the director said, he believes Boston is no more prone to homegrown terror than any other major U.S. city.
It's a concern here in Boston, but any big, dense, diverse metropolitan area, for all the reasons we talked about, is a place where we have any number of active homegrown violent extremists or international terrorism connection investigations. But I don't single out Boston.
I also asked the director about Ibrahim Todashev. He was the friend of Tamerlan Tsarnaev, and he was killed in an incident with the FBI in Florida. Authorities say Todashev was writing a confession letter about his involvement in a triple unsolved murder in Waltham just before he was killed. I asked the director about the alleged confession and if the Waltham triple murder might be considered now an act of terror. The director would not answer, saying that case is tied to the upcoming Johar Tsarnaev trial, but he said he would talk about it once the trial is over. I'm Bob Ward, Fox 25 News.